I can. I'll hit any room. I'll do a show that's also an open mic and get people stage time. Because my point is like, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do stand up, but I want to turn it into like motivational speeches.
Yeah.
And go across to junior colleges and high schools and junior high schools and talk about depression, but throw in some humor and be able to like deal with teenagers maybe heckling me. Now I can. And so, but
kind of like whenever you go to an assembly, they're like telling you not to do drugs, instead be like, guys, I used to do stand up. You don't want to do this. Don't be like me.
Exactly. No, it's exactly it, man. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to turn it into that. So right now, it's just I got a couple more shows I'm booking in LA that are like showcase shows that have really good comics on them, and then I'm gonna bring some industry members out there from the comedy scene that I've met and invite them out, and then after that, man, I think I'm gonna kind of start to transition into what I want to do with this I started writing this one man show / motivational speech, and start running that at every room I can, and then turn it into kind of my new TED Talk type journey. But I mean, I'll always do stand up here and there, man. It's just like you start to hit it so hard, and you start to help all these people, and then you realize like, okay, am I doing this for the right reasons?
Yeah, or you hit it so hard that you just get burned out.
I burned out, dude. I burned out twice. You're absolutely right about that. So is comedy something you see yourself doing the rest of your life, or what do you think? Because
it's really weird. Like, as of right now, I have no idea what I'm doing with comedy.
Right.
It's just been such a crazy shit show for the past 6 months for me.
Because of your work and stuff. Yeah.
That's a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I'm helping take care of my 90-year-old grandmother with dementia right now.
Oh, wow.
On top of, now working at the Coliseum for like 12-hour shifts.
Right.
And it's just like, I have no time to actually go out, and if I do have the time, I'm just exhausted. I can't put the energy I want into it.
Yeah. And you still have your own mic and show that you're running. So it's tough.
Like, that mic is probably the only stand-up I've been doing for the last 2 months.
But you know what, man? You're still getting up. And I think that, with all the craziness going on in your life, you're still getting up.
Yesterday, actually, I went to my first actual open mic that wasn't my own.
Oh, where was it at?
At Mia's in Eagle Rock.
That sounds cool. Is it like a pizza place?
No, it's a hot dog stand.
I fucking love this.
It's outdoors.
I love this.
Tuesday nights from 6 o'clock to like 8 o'clock.
So you did that before your show?
Yeah.
Yeah, because yours is at like 9, right?
And it's not that far.
Oh, yeah. Eagle Rock's right there. Eagle Rock, I think, is where like Mark Maron lives, in that area.
Yeah. Murray Bamford lives over there too.
Park. Yeah. Oh, I can see that. So like, when you're writing material or thinking comedy stuff, do you ever get into like the dark thoughts in your head, like your sadness or whatever you go through in life, and try to turn that into something funny?
No, not really, because I never. Well, in the beginning, I tried to go dark, but it was just me being the anti of myself.
Sure.
It's like, oh, I'm actually very polite to people, and I try not to piss anybody off. But when I'm on stage, let me just see how many people I can get angry.
Right. That makes sense.
And then I stopped that once I realized this is going nowhere. Let me just talk about myself.
Right. Yeah, it's I just recently started talking about depression on stage, not because I was scared to do it before, but it was like I had to learn how to make even dick jokes and sex stories funny before I can make something because those are already funny without me. So if I can't make those funny, how am I going to make depression funny? But once I mastered in my head making things that were easy funny, then I can take a challenge like depression and other tough subjects and see if you can make them humorous to other people.
Yeah,
that it's not it's relatable, but it's not vicious. So yeah, it is tough for sure.
When I write, I don't think I have like an actual, this is the formula that I want to follow. This is just like a thought that I have.
Right.
Let me see how far I can travel with it.
Yeah, I mean, do you ever, with balancing everything that you have with your personal life and your grandma and your family, your work life, comedy life, and whatever else can jump in there, do you ever get anxiety like for your next thing or like the next event or something that's going on, like working a 12-hour shift knowing that something could be happening to your grandma? Like, does anything give you anxiety? Because I think everybody has anxiety of some sort.
I don't get that much anxiety. Like,
okay.
Stuff I get anxious for is more like, oh crap, I have a show coming up. What do I do?
Got to get ready for it.
Yeah, but
I've been there.
It's just recently, like with all the crap that's been happening, it's like every time I hit my bed, I'm like, oh shit, like
Right.
what's gonna happen
Oh,
a
okay.
week from now, a
Sure.
month from now, a year from now. It's like I want to do stand up. Like it
Yeah.
sucks not getting up and
No, it really
getting
does.
up on stage. Like you feel like you're useless. You can't call yourself a comic if you don't actually go and do comedy. You know?
Yeah, you don't realize how much you miss it till you stop doing it.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I think is the best way to put it.
The worst open mic is better than doing nothing.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's a good point. I think that we as comics get so not entitled, but after you hit open mics, you start to go like, I'm too good for that open mic or that show. Like I love when comics will like cancel a show if they heard it's not good. And I'm like, dude,
It's a
what are
show,
you gonna
yeah.
do instead? Like I look at comedy as like if I can get up anywhere, I'll fucking do it at a laundromat. I just love telling jokes, and if I'm hoping somebody listens, but if they don't, then I worked it out for the next show I do.
Exactly.
And but there was a time though that I was like, I don't feel like going out there for that, and that's okay. But if you're obsessed with comedy like we are, when you take a break from it, and not a break that you planned on taking, you just a lot of shit got in your way, and that's becoming an adult. That's going through all that stuff. I mean, how are you able to balance everything that's going on?
It's hard. That's why comedy was on the back burner for a few months for me.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, what are the priorities in my life? And right now it's like family, work, making sure that's all in order.
Sure.
And if I have the time, try to do a mic or two a week if
Right.
possible.
Was there ever a time in stand-up that you felt things were popping and you were like, this is going to be something I do for the rest of my life?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
Right before I graduated, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing shows, like
Yeah.
I'm doing mics, like
In
3
LA,
times.
you know,
Yeah.
you're doing them in the Sanford, you know, like in the Valley, but that's Los Angeles County. Like you're getting, and yeah, I mean, you had shows with like Brody Stevens and
Yeah,
stuff.
making
CSUN.
connections that way. Like
Yeah.
I worked for Levity, which is like
That's right.
yeah,
you did.
a really big comedy agency.
Yeah.
So I got to meet people from there, and it's just like, oh man, I could do this forever.
Yeah, I kind of went through similar things where like I'm like, oh, I'm booking shows at clubs or this or that, and then it's like, you know, I'm getting these big names and people I'm fans of on my show, and you know, it's can't go downhill from here. But
Yeah.
then what happens is you kind of plateau at a time where you're like, you know, you're in a good mood, and then shit happens. But what's weird is no matter if you're good or bad, comedy's always there.
Yeah.
And there's always mics. And Alex Hooper told me early on, he said, you know, if you can't go to mics, try to do 10 to 15 things comedy related. Whether that's writing, whether that's listening to a podcast, being a guest on a podcast. Got to hit a couple mics, go support your friends' shows. And I think that is such, I mean, that's what I do now. I do 10 to 15 comedy things. I go to at least 4 or 5 shows just to support friends every
Yeah.
week. And it's not to show my face to the producer so I can get booked. Although that does help. I just want to support my friends' stand-up. Not so they come see me, but because I love stand-up. I went and watched my friend Zara at Flappers last night, and then I watched Jolene earlier, and then Justin Foster was on a show, and like, you just bounce back and you just
Yeah.
watch your friends, and it's just like, this is fun, man.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing of going to clubs and just going from room to room.
Seeing your friend, and especially, you know what's great about Flappers is you go from the U room to the bar room, and you go behind like the kitchen, you just
Yeah.
feel like a fucking badass.
It feels
for some
like
reason.
a club, like
Yeah,
a
you-
comic.
yeah. You feel a VIP going back there, and it's like they never stop you. You know, you see like Christina Marie Leonard just chilling back there.
Yeah, and
It's
they're just like,
fun.
"Hey, how's it
Josh
going?"
Schneider just eating his dinner.
And
It's just fun.
one of my favorite things, which is weird to say, one of my favorite things at Flappers was walking back, and Melissa Villasenor was back there. She's like, "Oh, hey, Nelson." I was like, "Oh, crap!" Like you remembered
that's
me.
Great. Yeah, SNL. I'm so happy for her, man, because she's a really good person and she's super kind.
Oh, she's one of the nicest people I've ever met.
Yeah, she did your show, didn't she?
Yeah, she just done it a couple times.
That's amazing. I love that. I haven't. I didn't get a chance to book her. I actually, it's weird. I asked her like a week before she got SNL. She couldn't get back to me or anything. But
Yeah, she probably knew at that time too. She just
but yeah,
couldn't
you
say
can't
anything.
say it. So she like didn't even read the message, but she probably read the message.
Yeah.
You know, I'm really happy for people like that because to me, it's like, you know, when somebody that is like the nicest person hits in some way, you're like, fuck yeah. Or even somebody that you maybe isn't the nicest, but you worked with, you're like, I
Yeah.
got to see them work that bit out,
Or you just like them as a comic.
like them as a comic, yeah. And then you see other people and you go, why is that person made? And then you realize like how much work that they
Oh,
must
yeah.
have put in that.
Even if you don't think they're funny, they're probably 10 times as more talented than you
Sure.
just because of the experience that they
Right.
have.
Yeah, nobody gets a Netflix special or all that if they didn't put the time in. You could shit on a guy like Tony Hinchcliffe, but the guy put the work in
Oh yeah, totally.
day in and day out. And he's always been cool to me, but like he's a guy that he doesn't just hang with Joe Rogan and Jeff Ross. He does his own thing. He has Kill Tony. He has this. He has that. And he knows what he's good at, and he goes and writes, and he does what he can. So you have to respect that grind. At least I think so. But all right, so you don't get much anxiety. Do you ever get like down on yourself? I don't think. I don't know, man. We haven't really talked about it. This is just like an organic conversation.
Yeah.
But do you have any diagnosed mental illnesses?
No,
No?
not, I haven't actually gone in to see if I do.
Doesn't mean that you don't. You never know, man. Yeah.
Like when you even talk about having depression, you've
Yeah.
always been like a outgoing, forward
Super
person.
open about it, which is good and bad.
I never knew it until you posted on Facebook. that you
Oh,
had
yeah.
depression.
Yeah.
So when I started thinking about it last, few months, I'm just like, damn, I don't like where my life is right now, but there's
Right.
nothing I could really do to change it.
Right.
But I've never actually like gone out to talk
Right.
to anybody about it.
Well, there are like forms of depression that aren't chemical, meaning like they're situational, they're seasonal. So like some people have it just during the fall or during like 2 months. Some people have it, with a breakup or whatever, and they could last a while. But I think everybody has some form of depression or anxiety at some point in their life because there's too much shit when you become an adult to deal with for you not to get down on life and for you not to be anxious and panicky and all that. Because there's just too much to handle. Too much responsibility for anyone. Doesn't matter if you're still living at home. Doesn't matter if you're, 35 and no direction in life. You're 35 and doing great in life by society's standards.
Yeah.
You
could
still
seem happy. Yeah.
Anybody can be sad. Anybody can have anxiety. Little things give me anxiety, dude. I swear to God, man. One of the biggest things that give me anxiety is like when you're at a Mexican food place at a salsa bar. Somebody's behind you, and you're like just scooping salt. It like gives me the most anxiety and it's like I'm gonna be here for a while because I'm a salsa fucking freak. So like I'm not gonna sit down just because he could go and then I'll come back. I'm gonna get it all done now, but you're thinking like when is this guy's thinking like when is he gonna go? It's like if you're in a drive-through and you're like. You're like looking at that person. You know that they got food, but they're checking it right there, and it's just move over and check it. Yeah. So like those little things that are just everyday life things give me anxiety.
I get that way in the bathroom when you're at the urinal and it's like, oh man.
When whenever you like, well, dude, let's throw this out there. Coliseum, you're at thousands of people. You go to a bathroom, you're waiting. You're a guy waiting in line. I never respected girls more. When I realized that they wait in the line almost every night for bathrooms.
Oh yeah, it's insane.
And they can't hold it the way we can.
No,
they're fucking dude.
They can't even use bottles. Like
they can't. We can. Dude, I could use a Gatorade bottle. Yep, it's true. I never thought about that. I mean, they'd have to have fucking phenomenal aim.
Yeah.
Now, if they could do that, if they could go in a bottle that wasn't a Gatorade, like Pepsi, and they could fucking shoot. Oh my god.
Like a Jarritos.
Oh, can you imagine a glass bottle? If they fill up one of those glass Mexican Cokes, done. Fucking marry that girl.
You gotta marry her.
I would marry that girl.
Pinpoint
That means
accuracy.
she's gotta be a squirter then. Like, there's no way that she's not. I just don't. I have a hard time believing that squirters are fun. I mean, they're fun until you realize, like, I think I just got peed on. You know?
You just have to invest in a lot of towels.
Yeah. It's a weird thing, man. I don't get. I mean, I
think that's how they invented the ShamWow. They're just like, I just need to deal with
my
squirter of a wife.
ShamWow. Oh, dude. There are always the squirters that you don't think are squirters too. It's like you see a freaky girl at work at Hot Topic has daddy issues. They're not the squirters, but it's like the really innocent ones that like you're
the
like
library nerd.
Yeah, dude. And they're always not just the squirters, but they're just the freaky ones. And then like you realize that they have a clit ring and all. You're like, whoa, this is great.
They have that Homer Simpson tattoo or the lips of the mouth.
I want to see that person, man. I haven't got to see that person. But that's another thing I would marry, man. That's fucking great.
Yeah, I would do it just for the story.
Well, that brings me to a weird segue. I'm not an addict when it comes to alcohol or drugs. I think like the two addictions I have are hot sauce and sex, but like not combined.
You should try it though.
No, dude. I mean, that would hurt that. It would.
Maybe it'll make it better.
Yeah, I'm habanero horny right now. But yeah, man. So like with sex.